In this lesson, we are going to talk about molecular structure. Specifically, we are going to focus on learning how to draw Lewis structures. So what's a Lewis structure? It's a sketch that shows how valence electrons are distributed among the atoms in a molecule or polyatomic ion. Valence electrons, if you recall, are the outermost electrons of an atom. So only those electrons are actually involved in covalent bonding that you find in molecules or polyatomic ions. So we're going to represent valence electrons by dots. One dot is one valence electron. Now you may use a dash or a line to represent a pair of dots. Okay? Electrons shared by two atoms are drawn between the symbols of the atoms. And if you're dealing with a polyatomic ion, the Lewis structure must be enclosed in brackets, okay? And the charge must be indicated only as a superscript outside the brackets. So here's an example. This is a Lewis structure for urea. Okay? And let's see. How many valence electrons are shown here to be shared by atoms? Well, remember we said shared electrons are drawn between symbols, right? So you have a dash here, so that's 2. Another one over here, that's 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And then you have 2 dashes here, so that makes 14 and 16. So that's a total of 16 electrons, or you can say 8 pairs. Okay, you can say you have 8 bonding pairs, because those are, so you be more specific, you have 8 bonding pairs because those are shared between atoms. How many are not shared? Those are the ones that are not drawn between symbols. So the only remaining electrons that are valence electrons that are shown here are these. This one, this pair of dots, this pair of dots, this pair of dots, and that pair of dots. So that's 4 pairs. Okay? Those are called lone pairs. They are not bonding pairs. They're not shared. So what's the total number of valence electrons shown here? That's going to be 16 plus 8. That's 8 pairs plus 4 pairs. So 16 plus 8. We have 24 valence electrons shown in the Lewis structure of urea. Okay, some terminologies associated with Lewis structures. You call a single bond or a single covalent bond is just one shared pair between 2 atoms. So if you just have one shared pair, that's a single bond. If you have 2 shared pairs like this one right here, that's called a double bond. And if you have 3 shared pairs, which you don't have in this structure, that would be called a triple bond or a triple covalent bond. A lone pair, as mentioned earlier, would be an unshared pair of electrons, so that's a lone pair right there. So you have how many lone pairs here? 1, 2, 3, 4 lone pairs. Okay.